I started practicing opera at 6 a.m. because my neighbor complained about my noisy coffee grinder. I've lived in my apartment for 2 years now, and every single morning I grind fresh coffee beans at 7:30. It takes like 30 seconds max. The grinder makes noise for literally half a minute, and then I'm done. Never had a single problem with it until this new guy moved in next door about 4 months ago. He's probably in his mid-40s and apparently works night shifts. But instead of knocking on my door and having a normal conversation about it, he started leaving these passive-aggressive notes under my door. The first one just said, "Some people are trying to sleep," all caps, no signature. I thought maybe it was a mistake, like maybe he meant to put it on someone else's door. Then a week later, I got another one. This time it said, "The coffee grinder is excessive." I was so confused because 7:30 in the morning is a completely normal time to be awake. I'm not grinding beans at 5 a.m. I'm not even being that loud. It's a coffee grinder, not a jackhammer. But this guy wasn't done. Last month, he actually filed a formal noise complaint with our landlord about a coffee grinder at 7:30 in the morning. I had to go meet with the landlord and explain the situation. When I told him what the complaint was about, he literally laughed. He goes, "You're grinding coffee at 7:30? That's it? Our quiet hours end at 6 a.m. You're not doing anything wrong. I thought that would be the end of it." But nope, this dude decided to escalate things even further. He started banging on the walls whenever I used any kitchen appliance. I'd turn on my blender to make a smoothie. Bang, bang, bang on the wall. My microwave would beep when my food was done. Bang, bang, bang. Even my toaster popping up would make him lose his mind. It got to the point where I was scared to cook in my own kitchen because I knew he'd start pounding on the walls. I was eating cereal for dinner just to avoid making noise. That's when I realized this had gone way too far. I wasn't doing anything wrong, and this guy was trying to control what I did in my own apartment during normal daytime hours. So I decided if he wanted to play the noise game, I could play too. Here's the thing, I took opera lessons in college for like 3 years. I was actually pretty good at it. Haven't practiced in forever, but I still remembered most of the vocal techniques and a bunch of songs, so I set my alarm for 6 a.m. right when quiet hours officially end. And I started practicing opera, full volume, every single morning. I started with scales just to warm up my voice. Then I moved on to actual arias. The first morning I did this, I heard him jump out of bed and start swearing through the wall. But there was nothing he could do about it because 6 a.m. is fair game. I practiced for a solid hour that first day. My voice was scratchy by the end, but it felt amazing. The next morning, I did it again. And the morning after that, about a week in, he came pounding on my door at like 6:30 in the morning. He was still in his pajamas, and he looked furious. He started yelling about the singing and how I was doing this on purpose to annoy him. I just smiled really sweetly and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm pursuing my passion for music. I used to sing opera in college, and I'm getting back into it. Music is meant to be shared, you know?" His face turned bright red, and he goes, "You're doing this because of the coffee grinder." I acted all confused and said, "What? No, this has nothing to do with that. I just really love opera." He stormed off and filed another noise complaint with the landlord. But when the landlord called me, he told me that practicing music during daytime hours is completely acceptable and actually protected under the lease. He said as long as I'm not doing it during quiet hours, there's nothing anyone can do. I've been doing this for 3 weeks now. Every single morning at 6 a.m., I'm belting out opera. I started learning Wagner pieces this week. Those songs are incredibly long, like 15 to 20 minutes sometimes. This morning I sang for an hour and a half. I could hear him slamming doors and stomping around his apartment, but I didn't stop. The best part is my vocal range is actually improving. I hit notes I couldn't hit in college. My neighbor hasn't left any more notes. He just glares at me in the hallway now when we pass each other. And I've started grinding my coffee beans at 7:30 again. He doesn't bang on the walls anymore.